Okay, let's talk about fear, right? So I used to have fear about what people would think about me, how would I be accepted, how would people view me, um, if I would be rejected, if I would be abandoned, um, not wanted, misunderstood, not loved, not cared for, not protected, right? And then all of my fears became true. I was abandoned. I was rejected. Nobody protected me. I was casted out. So, in my case, um, I have a master's in fear, right? Because I was trained uh, through abuse and neglect and all that good stuff, right? And so when it came to the point of like me choosing to heal and speaking up and addressing the things that scared me the most, like speaking up for myself, right? Saying enough, right? And then I had to come up here and talk about the things that had been done to me and what I was going through and the spiritual warfare and the secret societies, right? Um, that's a good point on fear, right? Like the secret societies, right? So with the secret societies, anybody would be scared, right? Because you would say the names Masons, Eastern Stars, and all that good stuff. And these are people who are known to be scary, right? To do wicked things. And even when I come up here and I speak about the things that were done to me through my karmic family and all that stuff, it's to be like, oh, you're not scared. Well, I learned that fear wasn't real, right? And so, and then I also got a lot of reassurance because I'm heavily protected by the divine and my ancestors. Um, when I broke the generational curses in my bloodline, and I decided to live in my truth, because we are energy, I was able to be picked up like it was like a light bulb went on and my ancestors saw me, the Most High saw me, and it's like, okay, this one we protect, right? So it's not real. It only affects us if we're not healed. Like, for me, there's people that want to do bad things to me. There's people that try to do it in the physical and the spiritual realm. Um, it doesn't work. It doesn't make it towards me because, one, I believe that I'm 100% protected, which I am. Two, there's something called rank in the spirit. Once you awaken, you realize who you are and the rank that you hold. So if spiritually somebody wants to try to do something and they don't outrank you, it ain't going nowhere. And so, but to get to that point, right, you have to go through all your fears. And like, it's not like, oh my God, I'm scared that I might get into a car accident. That's a fear. That's a fear. But like those fears of, I don't want to be alone. Or I don't want to be rejected. Or I don't want to feel less than. And I don't want to be abandoned. You got to face them. You got to face all of that. All of that, you got to face it. That's why healing is not easy. That's why it's important that we detach from the programming and we separate the spirit from the person so that we could see what we're fighting up against, right? Because a lot of us, we're like, yeah, no, I want a relationship with you, or this is my mother, this is my father, this is my brother. And in reality, they're karmics. They're karmics. Sometimes some of us are placed in those families to be a mirror. You know? Some of us are cloaked because God is using us. And we take abuse and we take abuse and we take mistreatment and we take mistreatment. And one is part of like what we signed up for. And two, it's like the last attempt of God trying to heal these people. Right? So if you think about it like that, what exactly are you afraid of leaving? The people that mistreated you and hurt you for decades, who never changed their ways? And if it's a partner, if he's willing to leave or she's willing to leave, let her go. You don't want anybody that's there because they like, you know, they have to be there. Like, I want somebody to be there because you want to be here. Like, let's do this together in unity. Not like you're obligated. No, we don't, no. And for like us single mothers, right? Like, I'm a single mom of 3 kids, right? That was part of my journey. I wanted to experience that, right? Gained a lesson out of that. Now, does that mean that I don't want a husband? Hell yeah, my divine masculine is on his way. Yeah. But guess what? I have gained experience from being married. I have gained experience with my children, right? Of being a mother, of taking care of the home, of taking care of the children, of doing the husband and wife thing, right? And so now I'm better prepared to deal with my divine masculine when he walks in, to be the divine feminine that he needs, right? So it's about the lessons that we acquire to prepare us for something better, for new opportunities. And like an old version of ourselves has to be sacrificed in order for a new version to come in. So with anything new, with any new opportunities that come in, an old version, something has to be sacrificed. An old version, usually an old version of yourself, needs to be sacrificed. For example, before I was a person that I used to, you know, overindulge in things. Right? That's not the case today. I had to let go of that version of myself in order to have what I have today, so that when my divine masculine walks in, I'm ready to be his empress. It's going to take sacrifice for us to make it to the next level. And when it comes to fear, we have to walk through the fear in order to let go of the fear. Because once we walk through it, we realize that we're going to be okay. Like, I used to be like, what am I going to do without my family? What am I going to do without my husband? What am I going to do without my friends? What am I going to do without a job? Like, you have to go through all of that and realize that you alone are enough. That you alone can do it. That all you need is you and the God that is within you. And that if your insides are not okay, then that's what your outside is going to reflect. Once you have your inside in order, which is the most important part. Because what good is it, and I keep repeating this over and over again, what good is it to have all the money in the world and not have your mind? Because when we are operating in those lower realms, where we're just, engaging in all types of activities and consuming any and everything, right? That's not living. That's overindulgence. We're literally participating in our own demise. Because that's not the way that we were created to live. And so then I realized when I started to detach from the programming and forgiving everyone and forgiving myself and taking care of my vessel, I realized that fear is not real. It's not real. It's only an illusion.